$9.49 an hour for what we do. Check was $730. It's gone. That's for 2 weeks' pay. The storage, the car insurance, the phone. I have to pay daycare. If I went to a normal daycare, it would cost me $300 per week for all 3 of my children. I mean, that's a whole paycheck. This past year, I couldn't even give none of them a birthday party, not even a birthday present.
Personal and an insightful look there. That is a scene from Paycheck to Paycheck, the life and times of Katrina Gilbert. And here now to talk about the new documentary, NBC News special anchor Maria Shriver and the star of the film, Katrina Gilbert. Ladies, it is great to have you here. Maria, let me start with you first, and then we're going to focus, Katrina, on you and your story. Mika's going to join in from Washington as well with questions. But why did you want to provide this type of insight of what it's like for 42 million Americans who are living this way, paycheck to paycheck?
Well, I think the Shriver report focused on the 1 in 3 women in this country who are living on the brink. And I think we talk so much about these issues and the stats and everything behind them. But I thought in focusing on a real human being with real issues, you could see how important something is like sick time. You could see a person like Katrina choosing between work and trying to do better for her children, trying to pursue an education, and not being able to get financial aid. And Katrina represents the 42 million women who are like her and the 28 million kids who depend on them. And I think we can do better.
All right, so Katrina, tell us about, and as we saw there, 3 beautiful kids. You're working your tail off to try to provide for them and doing the best that you can. But then when we hear the realities of the fact that no birthday parties, that has to break your heart as a parent and being able to provide. So what is it like for you living on $9.49 an hour and trying to get by?
It's an everyday struggle. Just like you said, with the no birthdays, it breaks my heart. It really does break my heart. It's an everyday struggle. If your car goes out, you know, what are you going to do? Because I don't have the money in the bank to fix it. And it's just that it's really hard. You worry about medical situations coming up, missing work if one of the kids are sick. And it's really hard on you.
Well, and also you got to think about things going wrong at the house, like if the heater breaks down or silly things that go wrong in our everyday lives that do happen. If the recourse isn't there for you to feel financially able to take care of it, that leaves you in limbo.
It does.
All right, so Mika, you had a question for Katrina and Maria.
Yeah, Katrina, and then Maria, why don't you jump in right after? But just looking at snippets of this documentary, first of all, your kids are adorable. They're beautiful. And it's so obvious how hard you work and the challenges you face. I'm not really sure how you make the math add up. So I guess the question I have for you is, how are your kids doing, and what are your hopes for them?
They are doing very well. They're doing very well in school, and they're happy children. My goal for them is to grow up and to have a good life and to not live paycheck to paycheck. That's my goal for them, to finish college and them just to be happy everyday life and not have the struggles that I have.
Maria, her hope is so basic. She doesn't want her children to live paycheck to paycheck. Is there an avenue for her to provide that for them?
Well, absolutely. And you see in the film, Mika, that she is trying to pursue her education, trying to get a better paying job. And that's certainly, I think, the really inspiring thing about this movie is Katrina represents, as I said, the 42 million women, but there are also so many families across this country who are living paycheck to paycheck and who are trying to not only provide, but to parent, to care for elderly parents themselves, and they're trying to better themselves in a country that doesn't provide child care. So many of the women like Katrina work in jobs that don't provide any sick leave or any benefits whatsoever. So I think she represents not just the women working paycheck to paycheck, but families all across this country. And one of the big things we're trying to do with this documentary is have gatherings all over the nation. Already 500 people have signed up all over the country to talk about the issues that you see unfold in Katrina's life in such a human way. And I think, as someone said to me after watching the film the other day, this is a clarion call to the nation. And we can do better. And everybody who's in Katrina's situation, or so many of the ones that I have met, want to do better. And they just need a little help to get off the brink.
Well, Katrina, we really appreciate you sharing your story with us and sharing it with Maria. Maria, we really appreciate you bringing it to us so we can share it with everybody else. Paycheck to Paycheck, The Life and Times of Katrina Gilbert premieres on HBO Monday at 9 p.m. And you can also stream it online free of charge. Maria Shriver and Katrina Gilbert, again, thanks so much for being here. The kids, Brooklyn 8, Lydia 6, Trent 4. Mom, give them a shout out because they're going to want to see their mommy on TV.
Hey, Brooklyn, Lydia, and Trent. I love y'all.
There we go. Morning Joe is going to be right back after this. You did?